Hello, beautiful, amazing, fantastic world, and you, beautiful, magnificent individual personality, you. Today, I would like to speak about the enrichment and deepening of our inner life based on the grace of aging, experience, and life. For the more we experience life in its many varieties and facets and faculties and experiences, the more we are deepening and enriching our soul. And that includes painful and also struggles and inner turmoil and overcoming these things over time. We do have a lot to strive for and to struggle with within ourselves as karma, But by us actively taking a hold of this karma and consistently and regularly going inwards to regulate and to keep ourselves loving, warm, and, well, as in control and consciously as possible, of course. We are not perfect, so we can go outside of that and, well, doing less than what we are capable of, but we always regulate ourselves back into the balance. It is only by erring that we can know what truly is the correct path in the end, because you feel the pain of erring. But when you come back to the balance, you feel the joy of the balance. And it requires us to, it's trial and error, it's making mistakes, and it's also clearing them up and also become more and more alive and nurturing to yourself and to those around you as best as possible. Of course, we are not infallible. We have to remember this and to give ourselves certain leeway, but at the same time not going over a certain line. That line we know what is, but it cannot be truly explained in concrete concepts. It has to truly be felt, experienced, and over time come to an understanding about, which life experience and aging gives us over time. So the more we age, the more mature and deepened we become, and more stable and grateful within ourselves. For remember, you have come as far as you have come. I have come as far as I have come. Do you want to give up now? Do you want to give in to whatever outside influences is affecting you and so on? No, you will. Your inner being won't do that, or don't like to do that. But at the same time, it's about the balance between the outer whole and the inner and the individual and the inner world of each individual. So when you become aware that each individual has an inner life as rich and as variable as life can give us, the more interesting life becomes, because we start to pay attention. When we pay attention, life has a tendency to give us a lot of fun stuff. But we will also have to trust life a little and also be aware that there are forces that wish us to stagnate and to stay stuck and to not progress any further than certain points so that we lag behind. Of course, this only occurs if ignorance is constantly cultivated. But if we truly wish to know, truly wish to come to an understanding about life, about ourselves, about others, about life, and so on, we will have to be a little proactive, a little dynamic with life, giving the life our hand, and the life will give you the hand back. And it will be that beautiful dance. Of course, this dance is, we start clumsily, we step over our toes and our feet, but in the end we become more graceful in this dance. And life has a tendency to be the leader and the guide of the dance, so that we over time, by paying attention to life and also being dynamic with it, we become better and better at this magnificent movement of dance that we are going through. So, holding ourselves strong to the true, good, and beautiful, and at the same time holding oneself not too dogmatic and not too pragmatic. It is about holding that you are in between a cloud shape and a stone shape. You kind of are like dough. You become malleable and flexible, and if you get if you poke a finger into the dough, you see that you see the indenture of the finger, But over time, that indenture will come out again and heal itself. Of course, you feel that it has been something there. That is what time does. It is, remember, you have gone through a lot of painful things, I imagine, for, well, being human. But all of these earlier things of pain you have gone through, remember now, they feel kind of like an abstract just point in a memory long ago, in a sense. It has healed to an immense extent a lot of these things. Of course, we are constantly having these things coming in, the karma and the constant clearing up of our inner being. But that is also the part of the work. It is about overcoming and ennobling and transforming what is dark and shadowy and otherwise we ignore within ourselves to become conscious, alive, awake, and also beautiful over time. Because a lot of our inner turmoil can become beautiful once we know how to transform it. But that also requires studying, patience, consistency, and the curiosity and awe for life. The wonder, that childlike wonder that, whoa, that when you have that, you allow in new experiences that you otherwise don't believe exist because we are so hard and so, behind our wall. But in the end, this wall is, once you have reached a certain state, you see this wall is but a hiding place. You're still not doing anything with this. But by, of course, having this protection and passive resistance to the adversary forces, we hold ourselves to certain values that we over time make autonomous within ourselves. It requires us to constantly feed this, to give energy, to give a consciousness to it. For the more we do it, the more it's like reading the alphabet, it's like learning to dance, it's like learning to anything. It requires time, patience, and consistency, dedication. And the more we dedicate ourselves to the higher worlds and to the cause, the more we are given what the cause are and how we are to use this knowledge to the best of everyone, not only ourselves and not only egotism, and not only to sacrifice ourselves for the world. It is that beautiful balance between individual and whole. For none are exempt and none are more important than the other. It's important to remember this, for what the end justifies the means, but the means, if they are evil, if they are utterly void of love, compassion, and only filled with egotism and self-servingness, obviously the ends will become the same, because you are constantly using forces that will bring that result. And that is why we use the most proper means to the end, and always be aware of the means, for the means can and will dictate what the ends will be. So it's important to know that what we feed into is what will become alive in later times. So what we cultivate now will become future. Just like what we cultivate in the past is now. It is a constant thing, and we just have to become a little awake to it. But once we do, and as I said, it takes time, patience, and every individual has their own pace and tempo. We cannot follow any other's tempo. We have to be awake and aware to our own consistent growth. And that is also where we can find that harmony in between each other. For we know that certain people have studied and doing immense struggles to come to their knowledge today, where we haven't come halfway through that knowledge. But others have lagged behind and done nothing at all. That is also a reality. But we should not, we should stay to that we do help these people so that they in later times can choose if they wish to, because freedom is reality. So it is about, once they have come to the realization and the epiphanies they need to start the journey, they will. And it's about holding that faith and hope for them, and the love for the path. And I think that I will leave with this. It felt good to come back here. So, thank you for listening to me, you beautiful, beautiful human being, you. May you be protected, guided, blessed, and loved by Father, Holy Spirit, Christ, Michael, higher hierarchy, ancient masters of old, and ancestors from every incarnation. And may you be provided for with all that you need to survive, live, thrive, being creative, inspirational, and healing to the world, so others can choose to follow when the time is right and the courage is high. And may you be safe and sound. Thank you so much. Love you, my dear sibling. See you. Goodbye.